Good evening. Why don't you come have a seat here? It's been a couple weeks since you came and visited last, and I am glad it's been so long because I really haven't had anything, I think, of interest to say. But I did come upon something the other night. My wife and I are reading through Dante's Divine Comedy, and we just finished the Inferno. I can't remember how it came up, but in a conversation I was having with her about the Inferno, it clicked in my mind that there was a connection that Lewis made with one of the Pevensey children in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which I thought was interesting. So you'll remember that at the end of the Inferno, you reach the ninth circle, which is the circle of the treacherous. And it's generally divided into three groups of traitors: those who have betrayed their countries, their societies and neighbors, those who've betrayed their family members, and then ultimately those who've betrayed benefactors, people who wished and did them well, and they returned it with treachery. And of course, this is embodied principally by Judas Iscariot, Brutus, and Cassius. And I was just thinking that Lewis, with the treachery of Edmund, when first he enters the wood and then comes back and lies about having been in Narnia to his older siblings, to the pain of Lucy. So he betrays his family. And then when he's finally back in and they see what's happened to Tumnus, he's been taken, and then the children are helped and hosted by the Beavers. And Edmund leaves sometime after dinner. No one notices when he kind of slips away. But when he leaves, he goes to betray his family and his benefactors, the Beavers, his hosts. And so Edmund is this wicked soul who, because of an appetite he has for a pleasure, Turkish delight, is abusing his reason to betray his benefactors and family. And thereby he is this deranged soul that would ultimately belong in Dante's ninth circle, the worst and deepest part of hell. And so I thought that was interesting because of course the White Witch is associated with ice and frost and everything and of course that exactly comes from the ninth circle of hell, which is this land of ice, and it's kept cold by the chill wind that's produced by the beating of Satan's wings. And so Edmund is one of these souls, along with what's his name, Ugolini, I think, the Count from Pisa, again Judas, Brutus, and so he's this worst of sinners, and of course that just goes to show how wonderful Aslan's redemption is, of Edmund specifically. And you see that later in Edmund's life in The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. I don't think you see much of a glimpse of Edmund in like The Horse and His Boy. It's very surface level. But you see that Edmund constantly, after the events of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, he constantly has this sense of humility, that he was this worst this worst of sinners, and Aslan still chose to die for him. And so I thought that was significant. One, that Lewis would even, not surprising, but significant that Lewis would draw his redeemable character from a soul destined for the worst part of hell. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. I didn't really have anything other than that to say. We've been reading, like I said, through the Divine Comedy. We just finished the Inferno, and we're only into the first 2 or 3 canti of Purgatorio, and just enjoying the change of the atmosphere. I mean, of course, the first thing that you notice in Purgatorio is, again, Purgatorio is a place of hope. It's still a place of pain and sanctification, but intrinsically, foundationally, it's a place of hope that these are saved souls being completely sanctified. It's this picture of the Christian life, and so we've been enjoying the free air of Purgatorio over the dirt and grime of the Inferno. So, anyway, thank you for stopping by quickly. I'm just about to shuffle myself off to bed, but I thought that was interesting. I think my wife thought it was interesting. I'm certain I'm not the first person to have made that connection. Of course, Lewis constantly alludes to Dante's comedy in his works, in his fiction and nonfiction. So again, it's not surprising, but I think it is. I found that at least very significant. Yeah. So anyway, I think maybe one of the next couple times we sit down, I might do something more of a more formal introduction. I've had several people ask me, not personal questions, but just questions about myself, and so we might do something of a Q&A. So I think that might be interesting. Anyway, thank you for stopping by, and I hope you get a good night's sleep this evening, and we'll see you next time.